big establishment Democrats, they're pushing children into this transgenderism ideology that essentially is, when they do that, they're essentially pushing them into a sort of status, a sort of lifestyle that has a very high rate of mental illness. Not really such a shame. So this landmark study here, which came out of Denmark, so it had participants that they studied who are not American, they are Danish. So people from, well, I guess Denmark in general as a country, they have been fairly liberal towards LGBT for many decades now, for a long time. So you can't say, oh, if this was an American study, for example, you can't say, oh, they have high rates of mental illness, because in America, people really look down on them like it's a major taboo, and they're attacked, and there's lots of violence. They don't have friends or family that accept them. This is in Denmark, which might be more liberal in that regard, where they're more accepted, more tolerated. People take them in, friends, family, whoever else, just employers, people in general. And what this study found in LGBT liberal Denmark is that there is an excessive rate of suicide and psychiatric conditions among people who are transgender. And as the subheader says, this study looked at nearly 3,800 transgender people across over 40 years. And to pull up some actual numbers here. So it says here, quote, trans-identifying people in Denmark had a suicide rate 3.5 times higher. Or rather, that was a suicide death rate, if I didn't say that, 3.5 times higher. And a suicide attempt rate 7.7 times higher than people who did not identify as transgender. Further, they found that trans-identifying people also tended to die younger, whether by suicide or something else. Now, that's something I'm not sure if the study specified, because I do believe they would have to filter out people who took their own life, because that can totally skew the numbers. Also, further down here, it says nearly 43% of the trans-identifying people had a psychiatric diagnosis, compared with just 7% of the non-trans identifying group. So you can, I guess, overgeneralize, overestimate here, overround, and say maybe half, or yeah, I don't want to say half or around half because it's 43%. But I mean, for the sake of arguing, just say these people need more help. Let's just say, let's over-exaggerate and say half of trans-identifying people have some sort of mental illness. And that's one that was diagnosed. How many people have never sought help or never been properly diagnosed? As a society, we should not be pushing children into this sort of lifestyle. Things have gotten so bad that it has become illegal in many areas across the US to even talk children out of becoming gay or transgender. I mean, to a certain point, live and let live. You can try to control other people's behaviors. But, I mean, it's sort of like a First Amendment issue. If you should at least, if you see somebody is just going through something and they are actually not that, they're just considering, because they're going through some hard times, they're having a hard time identifying who they are, oftentimes, which is a typical thing that young kids go through. It should not be illegal to just to talk to them and help them just kind of massage out the issues that they're going through. Now, here's a website here about where conversion therapy is banned. Now, depending on who you talk to, even talking kids out of going through essentially surgeries that sterilize themselves is violence, which I think is just a complete, it's just insane. Now, if you look here, this is just the statewide bans. You see here that 21 states plus DC have banned conversion therapy for minors. As far as partial bans for minors go for conversion therapy, the bans on conversion therapy, it's an additional 6 states and 1 territory. And then the bottom here, there are no states that have laws or policies. Rather, let me rephrase that. There are 19 states and 4 territories that have no state law or policy. So essentially, most states have outlawed conversion therapy for minors. Talk therapy for minors to figure out their identity. So this has gone back to what I've said in previous videos. If you do not support them, you are against them. There's really no middle ground here. Well, that is all I have for now. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. See you next time. This is the Agency of Influence.